welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to We Must Rage. Yeah, I know it's been like a month since our last episode came out.
A while. Yep.
But yeah, we definitely just want to get into things. We're recording this right before one of her friends is leaving town, and so we're recording it before our one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to touch on that at all?
Yeah, it's aiming to be short, which as one shots go normally doesn't happen that way. But the goal is just small town. They're being told to investigate something, like you're in it, but we'll spoil it for you anyway. Told to investigate some trading caravans that have been getting attacked, and there's no people there and no bodies. They're going to go investigate. They're going to see what's up with that. Going to make their way to a big castle, get through whatever is at the castle, and there's a big baddie in there, and then there's a fun twist at the end that he knows mostly about, but
yeah, we don't have to lie to the people. I feel like I help plan a lot.
Well, you do, yes, but I'm saying there's a little other twists in there. You'll see what happens. But
fun.
It is kind of vampire gothic-y themed, and you're going to be trying out a custom class that was created by
that coffee lock. It's called the Academic. I'm going the Tactician subclass. I'm just gonna try it out. I've never tried a homebrewed subclass or class or anything besides items, so I'm pretty excited. I was reading through it, and I gave some feedback just of what I thought might be too overpowered or too weak, or even just small tweaks, but I think we'll get more into that in the next episode.
When we actually play it.
Yeah, after
how it goes.
After I get to actually play through and see how it feels. Also on the next episode, I want to talk about the Pocket Bard. They are the ones who give us our intro music and our outro music, and it's actually a pretty cool app that allows you to easily switch between scenes and fights all at a touch of a button, and it's on Androids and Apple devices. So
yeah, the interface looks really user friendly, and then maybe during the one shot you have my blessing to pull it out and do some ambience and stuff, or ramp up the tension.
I think that's just such a easy tool to use. But we'll show like a clip of it and get more into it, kind of demonstrate it on the next episode. I know you had pulled an item, I think, for an homebrewed item for the one shot today, yeah?
I think we'll introduce it in there. Maybe the baddie will have it. So it's called the Hollow Edge, and it's a long sword. It's uncommon, requires attunement. You'll see it. I'm sure our tech whiz Evan will pull it up. But when you kill a creature, upon attuning, the sword opens up and flushes out all old coagulated blood as it turns translucent again. So it's a sword that has blood in it. Kind of gross.
Like your Halloween toy ones.
Pretty much, yeah. Whenever you kill a creature with CR of 3 or higher, the Hollow Edge drinks its fill and stores part of the slain creature's blood inside. Doing so increases your current and maximum hit points by 1 while attuned to it. And then you can hit up to 15 max HP. And when you get 15, you have resistance to poison. Kind of like the weapon is filtering your blood out because your blood's going through the weapon. Kind of gross.
Again, super gross, but definitely an interesting item.
Sounds like something a vampire would use.
Yeah, and it's always cool to see uncommon items have cool features that not everyone thinks about. Like, resistances. They're extremely useful, especially fully dependent on what you're fighting. But in situations where you're getting poisoned all the time, this would be insane to have.
Who does that? Nobody uses poison a lot. I would say one thing that's kind of interesting on it that maybe you wouldn't tell the players straight up, but they would, it's the fact that it says CR3 or higher. You kind of want to keep the veil of this is a CR or whatever monster versus this monster's really strong, or to keep it out of the actual mechanics.
Yeah, I think that's something fun that the DM could add, is being like, after they slay the enemy, and then they announce like, oh, as you make your final blow, you notice that the blade absorbs, and allowing like taking away the whole statistical side of like, oh yeah, it has to be SCR3. I think that definitely helps with the RP of being like, oh yeah, like just being in the moment and messing around and having to figure it out as a character.
Yeah. Oh, I could picture characters saying, "Oh, by the way, was that CR3?" And then you go, maybe, right? You kind of don't want to say.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think super cool. And then of course, if your table doesn't care, then whatever. But just for me, I would think that kind of breaks immersion a little bit to say, oh, it's a CR this monster, or you kill something and nothing happens, and then they go, oh, was that not a certain difficulty?
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, sorry, it was only a CR2 monster. Better luck next time. Like, okay. But it's cool, and I'm probably going to use it. We'll see whose blood it absorbs. Probably his.
I feel like that's super like tweakable too, though, in the sense where it doesn't have to be like a CR3. In our first campaign that we did together, we had I think it was my axe.
Oh, the killing blow thing.
Yeah, it had to be killing blow on. What were those? Drow.
Oh yeah, right. Drow.
Yeah,
specific.
we had to. Yeah, it was a drow specific. So I think that's something else you could do with that. If you're obviously low level party, you're not fighting CR3s or higher all the time. You could do like, oh yeah, after a certain amount of elves or vampires.
Yeah.
Vampire thralls kind of deal. It could do this like a similar thing. If you want to further homebrew a homebrew.
Yeah, which I think most people do. Yeah. So it works.
I wanted to talk about this spell from Skier Games. Sorry, it's called Vine Armor. It's a 2nd level transmutation spell, and casting time is an action. Range is touch, and it's a concentration for up to 10 minutes. This spell, you touch a willing creature until the spell ends. The target gains 10 temp HP. The range of their melee is extended by 5 feet, and their AC is increased by 2. However, the target is vulnerable to fire damage for the duration of this spell. At higher levels, when you cast the spell using a spell slot of 3 or higher, the amount of temp HP is increased by 5 for each spell slot above 2. I think this is great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a great alternative to Barkskin. Because Barkskin maxes out at 16, so if you cast this with 16, you go up to 18, but you also have that caveat of fire damage, which I feel like is missing from a lot of woodland creatures that certain ones that don't have it, like dryads or stuff like that.
Yes. Well, I think in general, a lot of things that you would imagine are weak to stuff kind of don't automatically become weak to it. We had our thing all about the undead being weak to radiant or not, and most are not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this. I like the fire weakness because sometimes the things that have fire are unexpected. And so the person would get used to using it a lot, and then suddenly, oh, that has fire breath or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
or even it's so easy, like a fire arrow comes out of nowhere. And so it doesn't necessarily say, it's obviously till the end of the spell, so I'm assuming once you lose those temp HP. Right? Actually, no.
No, because you keep the bonuses,
you still keep
right?
the bonuses, so this could also be super deadly. Like, even if you don't have the temp HP and the spell is still active, one fire arrow could theoretically take someone out.
I wonder if you'd have to, so let's say if you used it on an enemy too, you'd have to say, like the enemy using it as a DM, you maybe would telegraph that it looks flammable or something. I don't know how you would.
I think... I think that
you
kind
can't
of
say kindling because that's very too obvious. But
you could go even vines grow from the ground and wrap around a person, and you see them harden and dry to kind of give the idea of they're hardening, so they're getting that AC boost, but they're also dry, so they're easily lit on fire.
Yeah, I mean even the art too, which is awesome. It looks dry and a little crispy. So that's good. It
definitely still has some green, but it definitely looks very wooden, especially too.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it. It seems like you're saying an alternative to barkskin, and in all honesty, I've seen a lot of people just not use barkskin.
Yeah, I don't think in our current campaign that we're playing, I have a companion who has bark skin, and there's never been a reason to use it because all of us are at like 20 plus AC at this point.
Yeah.
And then including her, she just has bark skin is what we agreed upon when kind of home brewing, having that companion. So yeah, but no, that was a super cool one. I definitely might want to mess around with this if I go into a druid build or something like that.
Yeah, sure. A quick sleeper.
Yeah.
This one is super cool.
Yeah,
This is by Me Mimic, the quick sleeper feat. I think it's pretty cool. It's you master the art of falling asleep in seconds, everywhere and at any time. Gain the following benefits: ability score improvement, con score goes up by 1. Power napper, when you start a short rest, you can decide to fall asleep and become unconscious. When you do so and are not interrupted, you gain temp HP equal to your level at the end of the short rest. So it's like you'd get the hit die anyway, but then you also
get a bonus.
Yeah, and I think that's a risk you take if you're maybe in a dangerous area or something or unconscious. But people can still wake you up. Undisturbed, you don't need to restart a short or long rest when you are only interrupted once and can finish it by resting for the remaining unspent duration. I think I've interrupted you guys once or twice.
Yeah, there's definitely been a couple
for short rests.
I've had like because I'm playing a Warforged. My sleep time's reduced.
Oh yeah, most people get interrupted when you're done sleeping.
Yeah, it's towards the end anyway, so that's been kind of nice.
Yeah. And then the last one is when you finish a long rest, you regain all your spent hit die and reduce your exhaustion by an additional level. Further, you have advantage on Constitution and Wisdom saving throws for the next hour after finishing the rest. So it's like it is a well-rested bonus, kind of like gaming mechanics, right? Where you rest.
I think that's super smart. Or like it would be a good thing to have like right before you raid something. You're like, all right, we're gonna camp out here and we'll hit them at like first light, and then you have all these bonuses.
Yeah, I could see this would be maybe something I would let people use downtime for. Well, of course you can learn a feat anyway, but I would say I may give this to someone for less time, because we didn't really do downtime too much, but it takes really long to get feats. But I could see this one, people learning like from living with certain people or with
taking naps
but it's just knowing how to, we can
efficiently sleep.
Yeah,
I get that.
The coolest thing I think is the exhaustion by an additional level getting cured, because I think I hit 4 levels of exhaustion in a game I was playing, and I was that level. Yeah, I was miserable, and I was that for I think 6 sessions or something, or 5 sessions, and it was just so hard because your character's exhausted and you can't sleep in the situation. Yeah, and then you sleep, but you only get 1 removed. So
I think something like this can be like vital and overpowered. Like actually, what we were talking about right before we started recording was, I don't remember what subclass, but the barbarian who can rage infinite amount of times, but gets a level of exhaustion per each rage. Something like this would be super helpful, especially with the con bonus, or even paired with talking about the homebrew, the academic. They have scientific ideas, is what the feature is called.
Yet to see in action.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But this is one of the ideas that I thought was a little overpowered, and it's called what is it called? Let me look real fast.
Yeah, go for
it. But basically, while I'm looking it up, the astronomy subclass, that's what it's called, or a feature. It allows you to always know where north is, but your long rest time is reduced by half.
Oh. And
so a long rest is only 4 hours for your entire party.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
that's strong.
It's super overpowered. So I think that's one of the parts of homebrewing and like mixing homebrews is being careful about stuff like that. Because if I mix this with that, it would just be overpowered.
I guess we'll see if you choose that later.
No, I'd be nice. Like, I don't know. It can bother me sometimes when people hardcore metagame from an outside point of view and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to stack this, this, and this, and we'll be super set. Like, I get wanting to play for like to feel cool and like have all this strong stuff. But I also try to stick to it making sense story wise when it comes to feats and stuff. I think even when I was preparing for the one shot, the feats I chose made sense for my character or even the bonuses that I got.
Yeah. Well, it helps too when you're given the setting and stuff. I didn't really give too much setting.
The final item I think we wanted to talk about is by that coffee lock again. Thank you so much. He actually made this one for us specifically. It's called the Wreath of Floral Rage. It's a wondrous item. It's a hat, very rare, and it requires attunement by a barbarian. Before we even start reading, I love that. It's a barbarian exclusive attunement. I feel like there's not too many that are not just weapons. Yeah. Well, I feel like there's a lot of class specifics, but it's always casters.
I see.
Yeah, when it comes to your fighters who can't cast, and your barbarians who can't cast at all, basically after they rage. I like that a lot. It gives an
option,
depth to the barbarian. Upon attuning to this handcrafted wreath adorned with flowers you can pick and plant, your mind transcends your body and reaches a state of inner satisfaction. Your creature type turns into a plant as your flesh gives way to leaves and vines.
That's funny.
Yeah, I like to think it's like an Iron Man suit of just plant.
Yeah.
Expending a use of rage, you can instead decide to plant a flower within 5 feet of you as a bonus action. The plant counts as a small object, has 15 hit points, and an AC equal to yours, which is kind of insane because there's some high AC barbarians.
Yeah.
Any chosen plant wilts when destroyed or after 1 hour has passed. And then it has the following options. A choke blossom. Any enemy that comes within 5 feet of a choke blossom must succeed on a DC 16 Constitution save or spend their full turn choking, which can be useful. You just plant that in the middle of a group and it's over. A Meriton. At the end of your turn, a Meriton targets an enemy within 30 feet of it. The target is barraged by pollen, decreasing its AC by 2 until the start of your next turn.
Yep, never bad.
Yeah, and then Nettle Ward. You and all your allies start their turn within 5 feet of the Nettle Ward regain hit points equal to the Barbarian's Con modifier.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah.
It's stuck out to me when it says it counts as a small object. That's a specific designation, which makes me think maybe you could catapult it.
Yeah.
Or throw it even, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you can catapult it. It allows it to also be destroyed, I think, is the biggest part, which in my opinion might lower its rarity from a very rare is the fact that it can be destroyed. Because you could plant it and the next turn someone could just wreck it immediately. So I think that would be the only change I have to this, but basically giving your barbarian the ability to heal and also giving it this utility against enemies.
Yeah. Well, I think that also creature type becoming plant will help you with certain spells and stuff too that target humanoids or they target it's kind of the debate on certain things if they work on a plant or not.
Yeah.
So it might work in your favor too.
It just adds even more immunities and resistances to a barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. I don't think I picked up on that when I first picked that up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wish we had a barbarian because I'd probably use this in the one shot, but no barbarian.
I almost brought back the character from our first campaign since we're playing at level 5, and I think
that's when we left off. Right?
I think we stopped at level 5. But I don't know. I'm trying to explore all class options that I can before I start continuously playing one, or just so I can have a better option of what to choose from. And I think the academic is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm excited to see it and what it actually feels like in play.
Yeah. The guy that we're running the one shot for, he is a ranger, and one of the academic features is you can choose a feature from another subclass, and I chose one from a ranger subclass. I'm like, this is the one that's not super overpowered. Like, it doesn't give me an extra companion or anything, but it's not super weak. like you can have your weapon returned to you or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way he's going to choose this one. It's from, I was like, it's not, I haven't heard of anyone really messing around with this ranger subclass. It's a swarm keeper. And he ended up picking the same one, which is fine. We worked it out story-wise that, like, that's how my character and his character met, was we're kind of researching, like the academics whole thing is researching and gaining knowledge. And so researching that, and he's from that forest that allowed him to get
I see.
the swarm keeper.
Cool.
Yeah. And so I think that, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited.
It's happening pretty soon.
I know. We got what?
A couple minutes. But yeah, and then we wanted to, I believe we want to have people, if you have any questions or like things you'd want us to answer or to think about, or like we have some cool ones that we got that we'll address in the next episode.
Yeah.
But we're totally open to any
questions. Anything you want us to talk about or
talking points,
give our thoughts on. We did receive a couple that I want to address after one playing a homebrewed class, because one of them was asking about how would you homebrew a class or like a race dependent on your scenario. And we did actually have homebrewed items sent in. I like to make sure that it's okay with the item creator before using them, so I'm going to try to get in contact if I can with them, just to make sure. But yeah, if you guys have anything, we have our Instagram. Everything's We Must Rage. So we have Instagram. We have our YouTube. You can comment down there.
And Spotify.
Yeah, our podcast is on Spotify. I'm working on Apple Podcast still right now. Having some troubles there, which I think is a common theme with people trying to get their podcast up. But I'm working on it. Hopefully I'll get it up there soon. Where else? I think that's it right now.
Yeah. If you stuck with us this far, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And look forward to hearing from you and looking at more really cool items by very talented creators.
Yes.
Items, spells, subclasses, monsters. There's a lot of cool monsters.
Some stuff that I don't think I'd ever even think of messing around with. Yeah, the imagination is just insane on some of these creators.
Yep. Very talented. And it's a privilege to look at them and get them for free on top of being able to talk about them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, please make sure to go like look at Me Mimic and Skier Gaming and that Coffee Lock and everyone else that we might end up using, and like give them a follow. There's so many items. Some of these people are posting like twice a day new items, and obviously we're not going to keep up with that.
Yeah, too many items to balance your game. So.
Yeah. But there's so many cool ideas. Even if you're running only like a couple magic items, I'd say give them a look and see if anything suits you.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, I think that's all for us today.
All right.
You got anything else?
Nope. Just
awesome. Yeah.
Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. I hate saying that, but yeah. Thank you so much.